Hey friends, welcome to Hand Stamped with Lisa Pretto. I am Lisa Pretto, and we are back doing another challenge with Julie and friends. And our theme this week is masculine cards. So I have some strong opinions on masculine cards, which I didn't know I had until I sat down to do this. I am not someone who will purchase a stamp set just to make a masculine card. I really love going with texture and colors for more masculine cards. And so that is what I have done for you. So I am using the Scenic Adventure bundle. And so I'll show you what that looks like. And I have a little disclaimer. I have not actually made this card. I have made two versions and I was like, oh, I could tweak this. Oh, I could tweak this. And I was like, you know what? I'll just make it when I'm on there. I don't need to practice. That may come back to haunt me just a little bit. So the way that this works is you're going to watch my video, you're going to watch Julie's video, you're going to watch Deb's video, and then whichever one you like the best, you're just going to give a thumbs up to. Always lovely if you leave a comment because it helps us out, makes us know that people are appreciating what we're sharing. And then make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I am working diligently to get you really fun videos here. And so if you have something you'd like to see, some idea, please pop it in there. So again, watch this video, watch Deb's, watch Julie's, give a thumbs up to the one that you liked best. And Deb, I think, is kicking our butt. So Julie and I we'll take pity votes at this point. But let me show you what I've got here. So I'm just going to turn you can see here at the moment I have nothing. I have a lot of nothing. So these are the cards that I started with. This is kind of where I started and I played around. So I made this one first. And this is very much in keeping with the kind of cards that I like to make. Simple, a lot of texture, beautiful die cutting here, this tree, lovely saying, open it up, right? And then I was like, okay, that may be too simple for a stamping challenge video. So put that one aside, but use it as a little inspiration. I was like, well, what if I make a little something that opens, right? And then this opens too. But you can see there's like just so much going. It's very thick. It's very thick. So I'm going to do a riff on this card. And we can take the bets now over under on whether or not it's actually going to work out. Stay with me. Stay with me. All right. So Scenic Adventures. This is really a beautiful stamp set. Fonts, excellent. Images, really pretty. And then it comes with coordinating dies. So you can create all sorts of fun things. So I did a little bit of this ahead of time just because there's a lot of die cutting on this card and I didn't want to bore you to tears. So let's look at what we're starting with. We're going to start with a base of early espresso. And so this is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then my card that's actually going to open and close, I'm doing that in Old Navy. And so that's going to measure 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. It's going to give us that nice base there. So those two we know are the bases. We know those are going to work great. The next thing I want to show you is how we're going to layer this card. So if you look at both of these cards, you can see that I created a little bit of a layered forest there, a little bit of layered forest in the background. And the way that you want to do it is you want to cut your piece of paper. So this would be, I'll just give you this. So this one was going to be 5 1/4 by 4. So you're going to cut first one 5 1/4 by 4. And what we're going to use is we're going to use the dies that come in this set. So the die comes in this set, you place it right up here. And so if we do it at 5 by 4 1/4, and then we take that and put it right at the edge, it's going to create a perfect layer. And then for the next one, you just want to go just that little bit 1/2 inch shorter. And so you can create a little bit of layering there. It does not need to be perfect. Your trees could be up here, they could be down here, however you want it. But again, they're both measuring that 5 1/4, 5 1/4 by 4, 5 1/4 by 3 3/4, and then laying that die across it, and it will create that nice edge for you. So you've got that forest all done for you. So let's get that guy going first. So we're going to take our Old Olive. I feel like Old Olive has been around as long as I have. It is a tried and true green, isn't it? So we're going to go with our bigger forest piece, and we're just going to come and put our adhesive on there and put it right up to the edge there, right? So you can see how it creates that nice little background there. And then we're going to take our next tree, and I'm actually not going to put any dimensionals on this. I'm going to lay it right down. I feel like the card gets just a little too bulky if we put too many layers there. Right? So that is our lovely forest that we have going on. Now, we need to add a little bit more. This is a challenge after all, right? So this beautiful tree is also a die cut from there. And this is one that you are going to want your little Stampin' Poker guy. First, it's really good to get in there and get the image out of there. But then this also has all of these nice little holes in there that give it some dimension. Pull that up a little bit closer so you can see that. Okay, so your little poker tool, almost a must for this. I think you're really going to want to have that. But I just ran this through the die cutting machine with Old Olive, and I made, like I'm not kidding, a whole bunch of trees. I just made a whole bunch of trees. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by laying these out kind of where I want them, because we don't want them to all lay flat when we want them to have some up and down to them, don't we? So we're just going to take a little peek here on how we want to do this. All right, that feels like a really good forest vibe for me, right? So I know that these two are going to go down. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on that. Go ahead and lay that one down. And then I'm going to come across here to the edge, and I'm going to lay this one down as well. And we are going to have to do some trimming there, but that is totally fine, right? And then we'll take these next two and put a little adhesive on those. And we're just going to layer them. So again, we don't want them to be all straight in a line. Trees do not grow straight in a line. We need a little bit of movement, a little bit of up and low, short and tall. So we'll put this one here. And then this last one that I'm going to put on here, I am going to pop some dimensionals on the back. I just want it to stick up a little bit, give a little bit more depth to those trees. So we'll just go ahead and take the mini dimensionals. They work really well when we've got some of these smaller spots on these trees where they get a little bit narrower. And so we'll stick those guys on there. So far, I feel like my plan is coming into action. We will see. Oh, it turns out. Don't get ahead of yourself, Lisa. This is where it could all go wrong, right? So we're going to go ahead, pull the dimensionals off of that, and get that one last tree on there. So I feel like that looks really cute. I love that. So what we need to do now is we just need to turn it over, and we need to trim the excess from these. I wanted those trees hanging over a little bit so they looked like they weren't perfectly on there. A little bit of movement off the page, especially when you're talking about nature stuff. I just think it makes it look more realistic rather than perfectly lined up. So that is what the base of the card looks like. And I have to say, so far, so good. I'm pretty impressed with myself, right? So you can see how that all layers together really beautifully. So what we have in here also is we have some beautiful fonts that I talked about, and I'm going to use this You're Amazing one. I feel like it could be just a really great card for so many different things. I mean, who doesn't want to hear that they're amazing, right? So what I did is I took a die cut. I used those nested nested essentials dies and just cut out that little, what are we calling this? It is 1, 2, 6-sided. I don't know what that is called, but I'm sure it's something very clever. You guys will tell me, right? So I'm going to take the You're Amazing, and if you look at this, it's a pretty big stamp. And so rather than stamping it into, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to take my ink pad to it. I feel like I get a lot less extra ink on my block when I do it this way, although I did get quite a bit of extra ink on my block. Let's see how brave I am here. So the nice thing with this is I'm actually going to put it a little bit at an angle, so it creates a little bit of movement. Look at how cute that is. That is so good. So we've got that. So that's going to sit right here, right? So I've got a little piece of Crumb Cake, and I just took it and folded it, scored it at 3 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom of this, put my adhesive there. Now, this is the trickster part, right? I want this to go here, and I want this to go here. So I'm going to put this on first and get that where I want it. In the middle-ish, right? In the middle-ish. So you can see how that's going to go. So now I've got this extra back here. So I'm just going to tip this over, tip this up, and I'm going to put my adhesive here as well. And adhere that nice here. And then this is going to sit like that, right? So I've got that, my background, I've got my trees, I've got my greeting, which is really fun. Then the idea is that this is going to open up, and then this is going to open up, right? So it'll open and open. Well, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Okay, hold on. Hold on, friends, hold on. We're just going to do this a little different. We're just going to do it a little different. We are going to do a little surgery here. I told you doing this live we were going to create some issues. All right. This is going to come over here. Lisa, think, right? Actually, let's put it down here. This is how my brain works, y'all. Sometimes you just got to stick with me. All right, that's perfect. This is going to come up here. We're going to put a little bit more adhesive on that guy. Look at, seeing how it all comes together here. Doesn't make any sense if they both opened up, did it? That just wasn't going to make any sense. So this way, this one opens this way. There we go. Look at that. Thanks for being along. Thanks for being here. All right. And then we can do a little bit of extra tree on here as well, just to give it a little bit more. I think we're going to go over here. Yeah, I like it over here. So I'm just going to go with a little bit of adhesive along the edge, fold that down. We're going to go right there. And again, we're going to take it to the back. This is usually, I'm not kidding you guys, this is how I would stamp all the time. I'd be making things for classes and all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, that didn't work. And I would have already cut for how many of them. But you guys can see what's going on here. We like that, don't we? And then this is just going to get all covered up because we're going to cover it up and put it on our base of early espresso. Hide all of the chaos. There was quite a bit of chaos there. I appreciate that. You can just, oh, how the mind works. All right, so let's get this in here. All right, do we love this now? Is this so cute? Open our trees, right? And now we have to have a little something on the inside to complete that card. So I've got a piece of Whisper White, which obviously that works really great. But because we have all of these beautiful images, I am going to take this tall tree right here. I'm going to take him and I am going to ink him up as well in Old Olive cardstock. See if I can be a little bit neater on this one. Give him a little stamp there, and then we're just going to go right back in that and put a little one here. All right, so that way the inside of our card has a little fun to it as well. Get our adhesive going. Y'all, that was that was a journey, but you can see how this sits. This opens this way, this opens that way. Doesn't that look at that? So cute. So cute. I love it. All right. We knew it was going to be a little bit of an adventure, didn't we? When I said I had not made that card before. So a couple of things to keep in mind. I've got all the details of making this card below. So make sure and check that out. Make sure and subscribe to my newsletter because that's where I do all of my giveaways and all of my tutorials and stuff in there. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can continue to be wowed by what happens when we stamp, right? So again, Deb, Julie, myself, all sharing masculine cards this week. Go ahead and give a thumbs up to your favorite project. And thanks so much for being here.